If you think you're lazy, you're wrong, right? Because lazy people do not feel guilt about being lazy, right? Disciplined people who lack structure are the only ones that feel the guilt of being lazy. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to break it down in 5 explanation steps. So, first things first, laziness versus discipline, right? A lazy person doesn't care about their outcome or doesn't care about uh, what their day to day life looks like. They don't plan. They honestly are living life on a cycle of repeat, right? They're just doing whatever they know they need to do. A lazy person could be somebody who is a provider too. You just waking up, going to work, doing the exact same thing every day, living in a cycle. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So a lot of people have been able to build families from doing that, right? Now, that's consistent. You're consistent. You've been able to achieve something when being lazy, right? Because, well, I guess you can't really call that lazy because you still have the discipline enough to wake up and go and do what you need to do, right? A lazy person, in a sense, is gonna be someone who just doesn't care about what happens, what the outcome of their life is. Like, if they don't care if their family is gonna survive or their family, they don't care about their rent coming up, right? They just make up a bunch of excuses, right? And undisciplined people care, but they cannot control their impulsive moves, right? That's the difference. So a lazy person really doesn't care about anything. They just do things when they feel like, right? But an undisciplined person, they care deeply about what they want to do. They plan, they write down goals, right? But they're just not, they just can't control their impulsive move at the given moment when distraction arises, right? Now, if you feel frustration about your current situation, not being able to be disciplined, then you're not lazy, right? That's the proof right there because you feel that conviction of, yo, like I need to be like, I cannot be scrolling up, I cannot be slacking off, right? You're not a lazy person, right? The real problem here is dopamine addiction, right? Now, there when people use the word addiction, it's all, there's a negative count. Well, it is negative. Addiction is a negative thing, but when people talk about addiction, you 9 times out of 10 think of drugs or maybe, you know, some other stuff, right? Drugs. Well, it is an addiction. Drugs an addiction, but the type of addiction I'm talking about here is, well, drugs could bring you dopamine, but there are a lot of other dopamine addictions out there that uh, people who are undisciplined, but at the same time they're striving towards achieving their goals. Because you obviously know, I can't be drinking, I can't be smoking. I'm gonna talk about some other dopamine addictions that people face. First things first, waking up in the morning and just jumping straight to your phone. That's a dopamine addiction because you're so used to doing it. Your brain loves it, right? Not doing the opposite of what your brain wants, right? If you're not doing the opposite of what your brain wants you to do, what you truly want to do, if you don't do the opposite of comfort, you are in dopamine addiction, or you're most likely practicing a dopamine addiction activity. Now, this is something that I'm currently facing as well. I'm not perfect. Excuse me. I'm not all the way perfect when it comes to not having dopamine addiction, right? But this is, like I said, doing things on easy mode, things that are not uncomfortable. That's most likely 9 times out of 10 you're participating in a dopamine addiction activity. Another one is, obviously watching porn, just scrolling on your phone for hours and hours all day, eating junk food, watching movies, Netflix. Those are all dopamine addiction, right? Successful men don't need to feel, right? They move anyways. They don't need to feel the pleasure, or they don't need to be scrolling on their phone and laughing, feeling good about cat videos, or fighting videos. Andrew Tate versus whatever the guy's name is, the Chase, right? Jake Paul, and they don't care about none of that, right? They plan and they follow the plan, right? They put the plan over their pleasure. That's what disciplined people do. Now, motivation is what most other undisciplined people, they operate off of, right? Motivation is just an emotion because it's temporarily. When you're sad, that's temporary. When you're happy, it's temporarily, right? Discipline is a mechanism that you need to genuinely be successful, right? And I know in this video, I'm talking about why if you feel like you're lazy, you're wrong, right? Because if you're honestly having conviction, if you're feeling, if you have the guilt of not doing what you know you're supposed to be doing, you're not lazy, you're just undisciplined, right? You need to fix discipline. You need to have a fixed discipline mechanism system that helps you be a successful man, right? Like I said, successful men, they don't feel, they move anyways, right? It's like, okay, I wrote these 7 things on my to-do list, right? I'm gonna do the hardest things first and then knock off the easiest things. But everything on this list needs to be done, right? And you stay off things like obviously porn, scrolling, junk food, Netflix. You're eating healthy, right? You're not feeding your brain with noise. Not listening to hip hop or rap music. That's a distraction too, because it feels good when you're listening to the beat. Like, this is something I'm currently facing, right? So I'm speaking these things to you guys, teaching you guys a lesson at the same time out of personal experience in areas that I need to improve myself, because I'm self-aware and I know these things, right? I'm disciplined to a certain extent, but I know, like, if I was to rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give myself a 6. But I know for sure I should be operating at a 9, right? So, discipline is built. Obviously, it's not found. You can start building that discipline muscle. The first thing you can start applying today to build the muscle memory of discipline is obviously starting to wake up on time, right? Wake up on time. Go to the gym no matter how you're feeling. Have work block session without distraction. So this phone needs to be turned off on airplane mode when you're working. But obviously, keep small promises daily that you make sure you need to fulfill. Because the more promises that you fulfill, and make sure these are hard promises. These aren't easy promises. I'll give you an example. I have to do 500 push-ups every day. I'll show y'all. Have it right there. 500 push-ups every day. I don't know if you guys can zoom in and see. 500 push-ups every day. I have to do that every single day. All right. That's just an example. That's a promise that I make to myself that I need to do every day, right? To feel like I've achieved. Like, I know I tell myself I want to do 500 push-ups every day for myself, so I'm going to do it. You're not gonna tell me I'm not gonna do it. Well, no. I'm gonna do 500 push-ups. That's a promise I keep to myself every day, and I have to do it, right? So you want to make small promises and keep them, and you want to have a identity shift. This is what is gonna help you start becoming the person, the disciplined version of yourself. You need to start things. You need to stop saying things like, I would try. You need to say, okay, I need to do this because this is who I am. I'll give you guys an example, right? In my old career, obviously, if you guys don't know, I've made well over $1 million in my career of doing everything that I've been doing. I do a bunch of different things, right? But all on their content, right? E-commerce, TikTok shop affiliate, drop shipping, course, affiliate launchpad, all of that, right? So before I actually made $1 million, I always live in the image of I do things in the image of I'm a millionaire. What would a millionaire be doing at this time? I have my to-do list, right? And then I think from the aspect of a millionaire. In order for me to be the most efficient, I'm most energized in the day. So I need to wake up. As soon as I wake up, get to do 200 push-ups right in and there so I can wake myself up, get some coffee, right? Read the Bible, pray, right? In the summertime, so I'll most likely go for a run or go to the gym. I still go to the gym like 3-4 times a week, right? I do all these things. I journal. I haven't been consistent with journal, so I can't even add that to this video. That's something I want to start doing a lot more often, every day, going into 2026, right? And after that, I know, okay, I've done all of this. I've journaled, write down my goals, right? But like I journal my goals every day. The goals, like when I'm journaling, I think in the aspect of what would a millionaire be writing right now at this given time moment, right? What would I be writing down? I'll be writing down, okay, what are my current setbacks? Why? What am I current feeling? What am I feeling like? Like, what do I need to work on personally that I don't discuss with the world? Like, my life, my personal life, my close family relationship, and the issues that is affecting me mentally. What I'm going through with that, and I write down how can I solve it. And I'm doing all these things, and then now I've wrote down all the noise. I've written down all the noise. Now I get ready to go on a 4-hour block of work. Silence my phone and start working, right? 4-hour block. Honestly, it's two. So 2-hour blocks, and then I take like a quick 20-minute break in the middle, another 2-hour block. So I do 4 2-hour block work sessions, right? Because everything that I need to do, or everything on my to-do list is usually the hardest things are not more than 2 hours to do, right? So I do that, and yeah, I always think to myself like, okay, I need to do this in the mentality of what a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, an abundance person would do, right? And that's the mindset that you need to adapt to make sure that you are a disciplined person that does what he says he's gonna do. I'll give you a trick, right? Being disciplined is not something that you're just gonna be overnight. Start with 5 things. 2 of them very hard, 1 of them easy, and the other 2 medium, right? So hard, easy, medium, hard, right? 2 hard, 2 medium, 1 easy, right? Start like that, because if you can complete at least 1 of the hard things, 2 of the medium, and 1 of the easy, and then other hard thing, over time, let's say you start off and first day, everybody likes motivation. They feel motivated and feel like they're him, like I'm gonna do this, right? But that's not how it works, right? You're gonna start off doing the things that you say you're gonna do, and eventually you're gonna do for like 3-4 days, everything consistently, and then boom, that one day where you slightly feel less and less motivated, and you're gonna do less, right? So I would say start like, it's gonna be like that, right? But in order for you to overcome that, you need to build that muscle memory, right? So do 3 days of locking in on every goal. Say, look, I'm gonna do 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I need to do every 5 things on this list, or at least 4, worst case scenario, right? Don't try to do everything, because that's how you burn out, and the more time you discourage yourself, the easier it is for you to just fall off completely, and you don't want to be there, because it's a very hard place to be, because it's hard for you to recover. All right, so write down your plan for the day. 5 things, 2 very hard, 2 medium, and 1 easy. The easy thing you should be doing every day. To me, on my to-do list, the easiest thing for me to do every day is doing 500 push-ups. Right? It sounds easy, because I've gotten myself there. The medium thing is reading 25 pages, because I hate reading personally, right? So and there's certain things on here that I have that I do every day. It's on my to-do list and non-negotiables every day. Everything else is just an add-on, right? And I have to do these things every day, non-negotiable, right? I haven't been completely disciplined with them all the time. So actually I would say the easiest thing is read and pray. I'll take that back. Read and pray and 500 push-ups. Those are honestly, I categorize that as one thing, right? And then yeah. So I have another list that I'm looking at right here in front of me too. But these things changes every month, right? I analyze myself. Get a habit tracker, right? If you guys want one, comments tracker, I can get one and put it in the description of this video. DM me tracker on IG at bestgo3. But I don't want to make this video already too long than it is. I try to aim for like 15 minutes max. But I hope you got some value from this. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to help the algorithm so we can hit 1 million subscribers. That's the goal for this channel this year, just to talk about personal experiences and give you guys some value on how you can improve yourself as a successful male or female looking to just be a better person. But yeah, peace. Remember, see you guys at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. All right.